And we are live. How are you today? Hope everybody is doing great. Very excited to be back with you live today. What we are doing is editing a podcast in Descript. Well, the podcast that we will be editing has two separate video files for a. Let's try that again. I think it's two. How do you just describe this? This is best used for podcasts where each participant is in a Zoom room, or I use StreamYard or something along those lines. Boy, nose bleeding. So we're going to be editing a podcast with two separate video files, one for each speaker. Each file is exactly the same length because the video conferencing service that I use, StreamYard, keeps those file lengths the same. So I'm going to show you how Descript makes that faster, makes that easier, and just walk through my flow with Descript. I've already downloaded the two files that I get. So I get one and my co-host gets one. And then I come here and I hit new project. It'll be a video project. And then I can just take the two files that I've already downloaded from StreamYard and I can take them right into Descript. I can drop them there, and now it is going to analyze those. But the nice thing is it will automatically sync them, and it'll do a side by side. So the syncing saves me an incredible amount of time, because if you have StreamYard works a couple of ways. One, you could create your overlay on StreamYard, and then you're just going to have a static two shot inside of your overlay. What I prefer to do is have an overlay with the ability to cut to each individual app, and I'll show you how I do that in just a moment. But that's my preference, is that we have a single shot for each participant, and then we have a side by side with an overlay that we can use. So the files have now been recognized, and I can apply a speaker name. So we're going to apply Lauren, and we're going to apply me, Matt. And the automatic thing is combine two files into a multi-track sequence. So this is great, especially if you have one person talking and another person coughs. You can go into it, and we'll see if we can find an example like that, because I think we have one of those on this. And I always say ask before detecting speakers, because that is just something that I do. So while this is happening, I can hit done. And then right now you can see down here, we are auto leveling it, optimizing it, and then we are transcribing it. The way that Descript works is that it takes both sides of the conversation, puts it into one script, and then you can edit it either directly from the script, but there's also a timeline. So I'll show the timeline here because I find it useful to use that as well. So already we're just letting the system work. I am using a Mac. I'm a Mac user, and this is about how long it takes. So this is all real time. This is why I wanted to live stream this, because I just wanted to be honest about how long these things take, but also show you that a tool like Descript can help. Once again, I'm not sponsored by Descript. I have no ties to Descript. I do have an affiliate link for them, because I think for video podcasting, especially when you have, video podcasting where you're both in two locations, not in a single location with multi-cameras, but you have just one webcam to another webcam, and you want to add a little bit variety. I find Descript to be the easiest. Yes, you do have to pay for it, but I think the features that you get for the price is worth it. And that's up for you. I'm already paying, so if you're not interested, that is just fine. That is your right. But at least you get to see how it works and if it will work for you. And if you think so, you want to give it a try, feel free to use that link that's in the description below, or to the side if this is on Twitch and you want to see that. All right, this is where you get to see the speed of my computer. Look at it, just rocking and rolling. So while we do this, we just let the computer work. I am live streaming while I'm doing this, so that could be slowing it down. I'm just going to close any other projects or anything else that I might have running in the background, because yeah, no need to have any of the other applications going right now. All right. Okay. There it is. Perfect. We have a script. And we've got Lauren. And now it looks like it is doing me. So we have part 1. And now we are going for part 2. So this is fun. I've never actually seen it do this before, where usually it has both of them done at the same time, but not a problem. Oh, the downloads are complete on the files. We are still transcribing the old Flymore. So this podcast is the Roach Coach podcast. It's a podcast about new metal. And we've been going about 9 years in June of this year, 2025. And it looks like we have both of them ready. Is that correct? Because normally it says that it's going to take about 2 minutes to optimize the files. Normally we get 2 next to each other, and that's what I'm looking for. I don't want it to be me and then him. So let's get this file optimized. I made it freak out. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, right now it's all just Lauren, so we've definitely got to let this work, because this is why we're using it, to let it combine. So we are now 8 minutes deep-ish into the workflow. Again, this is the joys of video podcast editing. But I will say, when I was doing this with Final Cut, this could take me hours just to get everything synced up and working, because when you're making edits, you'll see it just edits both files automatically, but it still leaves the initial whole file in the background. So it's a nice thing that you can kind of come back and re-edit and lengthen a cut if indeed you need to make a change. So I like that aspect of it. Look at how serious Lauren looks. That's a pretty serious face there. He's like, hey, look at me over here. Pretty great. All right, file optimization, 2 minutes. I'm saying 2 minutes for over 2 minutes, so that's great. Take a drink. We'll just do a little run through of Descript while we wait for this to go. So the things that we're going to be doing once this file gets set up. Number 1, we are going to be removing filler words. So the ums, ahs, and likes, because they don't add anything and they tend to make the conversation drag out a little bit and make points that we're trying to make less poignant, like when you do that, it just doesn't work out too well. So all right, this is absolutely I'm wondering if live streaming is impacting this, but I'd rather show the whole thing than show nothing. So here we are, 10 minutes deep. Optimization still saying 2 minutes remaining. We'll pop up the activity thing. It is still working, so that's good. I'm wondering where I come in. Yep, and then I'm down here. Yeah, so it hasn't combined them into one track yet. So I think that's the big optimization. Boy, I look red. Holy. Might need to color balance that just a little bit. So it's a little less red. I think these things have, again, I don't own a fancy camera. I use this camera that's right here on my iMac. And I'll tell you, some lights, it just makes you orange, and then you move, and then you have a neutral skin tone. So we'll see if I can get that fixed. If not, boy, this is not going to be a great looking episode of the podcast, but let's hope. That's the two tools that we're going to be using immediately are Edit for clarity. Well, I think that's where I can remove the filler words, and then automatic multicam. The automatic multicam is probably my favorite feature in all of Descript because it can take these two files, automatically add the cuts that I need, and I can add the overlay as well. So that is the best. That's the best part. All right. Yeah, we're getting there. Script is starting to come together. All right. Ooh. Come on. Come on. I have used add chapters. I've not had a lot of success with that. I don't ever use remove retake, shorten word gaps. I don't do that. Although that's interesting. I could do that just because we play music. And if I just say shorten word gaps, then I could remove the music faster. That's a good thing to take a look at. Remove filler words. We already talked about that. We are not using center active speaker because I do not need to add false camera moves into this. I'm not doing eye contact because it doesn't work incredibly well for a two file shoot. As I already said, we're going to use automatic multicam. Generate an image. We don't need to do that. There's another cool thing. Create clips. So this is, if you've seen the commercials for Opus Clip, you can, once you have this edited, create clips, create a highlight reel, find highlights. These are things I really need to dig deeper into because I think there's an opportunity to make the top of the podcast more interesting, and these tools could help with that. Publish date, draft a title, summarize. I use the draft YouTube description because it does give you automatic chapters, and that is incredibly helpful. All right, I've never used draft a social post or draft a blog post. And then these brainstorming, outline, rewrite tools I don't use because this podcast is already created. While this is continuing to go, we'll go through some other features here that I like. Stock, so we can add GIFs or GIFs if you're so inclined. Stickers, backgrounds, video. So this is nice. I like having access to this stock footage just because I don't have to pay for another service to access it. Same thing with the audio. You can get some music. Oh, like reggae is the answer? Look at this. Oh, that's the reggae part. With the, sounded a little bit like a horn honk. All right, we're 15 minutes in. Normally does not take this long, so I'm thinking the live streaming on top of this is what's killing it. But I really want... That's frustrating. It's so loud. There we go. Books, sandwiches, waking up on a cold winter's day. These are the tastes of a million Lego pieces. Have you thought to yourself, let's let today be the day that we have a day? Enjoy a sandwich with a good friend and your good buddy Quiznos. Quiznos, the taste of a face. You ever wake up in the morning and think to yourself, what would I do if I was someone else? Well, now you can find out. Enjoy the out-of-body experience of Paralithan. Paralithan, the new drug by Benson and Hedges. All right, 17 minutes, something's not right. Something is not right. Never be the same again. Absolute wild, man. All right. All right. I'm gonna end the stream and come back once this thing is edited.